into the chat.
Let me start. Reset this.
Right.
Oh, shit.
We are back, and right now it's just me and Brandy, and we're going to get started here in just a minute with an update, a recap of what happened to them in court last week when they went to court for the kids, and then we're going to talk about CPS and parental rights, and share some things with you that if we would have known in the past could have possibly
Made a
helped
big
us out
difference.
more. It could have made a bigger difference in the result and how our rights were handled. So hopefully we can educate everybody um, about this. And okay, let me set this to research. Hang on a minute, because I want to get this pulled up. CPS and family court. With clickable links. That should make it easier. Okay.
My old school notes here.
Your what?
I said my old school notes here. You know how I am sitting and taking notes. I've got a
My pencil. I've just got
laptop for it, but I'm sitting here writing everything. So I guess maybe just talk about what happened last week. Well, it actually maybe 2 weeks now. It was the 19th, so it's been a little bit. But we had court for the custody. You know, the thing going on with Sarah and baby daddy and all that stuff. And they brought the baby to court. I understand they, you know, didn't have a babysitter. Everybody was in court that day, you know, so I understood that part of it. But when we first went in, she was sitting with the other mama and we was making hearts and blowing kisses back and forth, you know, and in court, you know, everything was going pretty smoothly. And Dad got mad for what reason, I don't know, and went and took her from his mother. And, you know, then that,
her
I
dad.
think her daddy, yeah, the baby's daddy,
Yeah.
went and took her from his mother and made her sit back with him and his girlfriend. And so, or wife, I'm not sure. I don't know. They may be married. So, but, and she, you know, I think at that moment she knew something was wrong because she couldn't sit with Mama, her other Mama, and you know, and everything got real tense, you know.
Yeah.
So they went up front, did their business, you know, just the typical stuff, you know, put it off and this and that or some reason and everything. We tried to get them to address the fact that we haven't seen them since the incident with Sarah, which, you know, that's all straightened out. All those charges was dropped, and, you know, she has a charge, a marijuana charge.
You found your paperwork too to prove all this, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I sent you a copy of it, or well, I sent you
You
what
sent
I
me a
had got from
screenshot. It
email.
didn't have the whole thing on it though. Part of it was cut off in the picture I
Yeah,
got.
it was a charge, something like
Simple possession.
simple possession, casual exchange, or something like that. And
Yeah. Of a
so, you
small
know,
amount of marijuana.
yeah, so that was took care of, you
Yeah.
know, and she got what's that called? Like a deferment, I guess. Is that what it's called? You know, she has to be good for, you know, 12 months, and then it can be, I guess, taken from her record or whatever. So that's a good thing. And she just has to go in once a month, and you know, they I guess.
Just to monitor like a diversion. It's
Yeah.
kind of like what Leah's on, where you just
Yeah.
go and check in, and if you do what you're supposed to do, then you're supposed to be able to get out of trouble without catching a charge, without catching the felony.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So diversion.
So
That's it.
even the part that did stick, it's not permanent. As
It's
soon
not
as she
permanent.
finishes out her diversion time
It's gone.
period, then that's gone too off of her record. She'll be
Right.
completely innocent of it all. So, yeah,
So
we've got a
he
surprise for y'all
mentioned.
later on that too about Leah.
Yeah, he mentioned that in court. He thought, I guess, he was playing a power move and was like, Your Honor, my uh, baby mama, whatever he called her, got caught with this and that, and it was kind of a circus, you could tell everything shifted, things started getting a little crazy. Well, as we was leaving, Sarah asked him, "Can I please give her a hug?" Because we've not seen them, and we had no idea what was going on because she had been in his custody because he went and took her from his mother. What, 2 months ago? Or yeah, no, a month. It's been about a month, ain't it? Since around October. So, we was just happy to see her, and he agreed, and I don't know what happened. The baby, Sarah was getting a hug, and his mom was standing there, and like I bent over to give her a hug, and I'm talking to her, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, it just like broke loose. I don't even know who said or did anything, and Sarah just kind of looks over at me. She's still kind of hugging the baby, and I'm like, really didn't know what to do, and I think it was between him and his mother at that point. And so the bailiff, takes us out in the hallway, and at this point, we're just like, our attorney's like, we got to go. Y'all need to go get out of this. And so we gave the baby a quick kiss, told her we loved her, and we started leaving. Well, he threatened our attorney. I, I, I mean, it was a three ring circus. But even after all that, it was still seen fit that he was stable and fit enough to take her back home. So we gained no footing, no traction. So, we didn't get our visits back. We don't, get basically nothing. It was just
And they
a
did part.
traumatized baby.
They did do
It,
that. They finally talked to her,
yeah,
right?
yeah, that was a good thing. That was a great thing. While it was fresh on her mind, my mommy, that way there wasn't no brain warping or nothing, you know what I mean, going on. It was kind of fresh on her mind. Mommy and Mama love me, because you never know what a 4-year-old's got going on
Well, the
in
thing
their
they
mind.
say that they have said to them is appalling. So it's
Yeah,
like you never know what they're going to come home and think because of what they're putting in their heads and what they're saying to them.
right. And
So like
and you was here firsthand. There's no coaching or nothing. They just tell you things, and it's like,
in the car, they're like, "This is what they said this week. This is what they said this time." And a lot of times, I'll never forget that conversation that I had with Tony about how they told him not to trust his mommy.
yeah, yeah. I mean, how can you love a child and not love their mother?
And put
I,
words together to respond. He said, "But that's so stupid. Why would I not trust my mommy? I always trust my mommy." And I
yeah,
was like, right. That's exactly right. And you don't listen to anybody that tells you otherwise. Period.
right.
Like
You know,
just say and say what you need to
people,
get through it, and then you come right and tell us just like you did that you did the right thing. Like, because
right.
this
Well,
okay.
we've always told them that any adult that tries to make you keep secrets, that's not
Right,
good.
right.
Why? We've taught them
From
that, and so they made sure to tell us.
yeah, that's never okay in any
No,
circumstance. you know?
No, no, and you try to teach your kids, safe adults, or adults to trust and things, but when your kid,
Look,
your grandkids
look
are
like
telling you things.
somebody that looks like a mom. That these days, like it's hard to tell, like who
Yeah,
is.
it's really there for the kids, and that was one thing I have to say. I was glad they called aside at that moment and was like, we want to interview her today, right now. She's here. It's a good time. Let's do it right now. And I hate with my every fiber of my being that baby even had to go through that trauma, that she had to even go through that moment, because she was scared. She was scared. She was hanging on to the other mama's neck for dear life. And, um, and it's not a point of where, anybody's trying to be spiteful or anything, because Sarah even said, listen, if it if it just makes me feel better knowing where she's at till this is done, please let her be with her grandmother. Sarah was even at the point, but you know, nothing happened. So, um, I don't know what's come out of it. I don't know, but like I said, I have to say good job on the guardian ad litem, because
Right,
I have had
grateful
my
for.
issues,
But
because
it still makes me angry. Like, why did she not do this from the beginning? All she had
right.
to
Well,
talk to me.
they seen all those
Why?
videos.
Why is that not part of it?
They seen the videos. We took them the videos. And there's videos of the
It's
kids
a good
talking
idea.
about abuse, and
Yeah, like and how they told you were retaliating whenever you reported things. Like it's so
yeah,
fucking twisted. It's just twisted.
yeah. And
The guy
so
how they try Aaron out to be the bad person for calling attention to problems that the child is going through because of the circumstances or because of the people that the state has deemed more fit to care for them. And
and it's
um
not their best interest. It's not their best interest
no,
at heart. I mean, right now she's
it
separated from her brother.
has nothing to do with the interests of the child.
No,
None.
none. Absolutely none. And how, even if the shoe was on the other foot, and I've always said that, I would never even think of keeping them from any of their family. And when Scarlett was with us, we made sure that the visits were kept. Everything ran smooth, and it just by no means is their best interest been considered
In any
any
of
in any of this.
stage of it.
Yeah. And it's been a sad kind of situation dealing with it. And I said, we've already missed so much, you know, and just went through Thanksgiving without them. I've got all this going on at home, with dad and mom and things, and everything, and then not to be able to even at least a phone call, something, but we kind of tough through it. And how that's in their best interest. I'm not a danger to them. I love them. I give anything in the world for them. So to keep them from somebody that loves them, I don't understand the logic or the thinking on that. But we'll see. We've got court next week on the 12th,
Yeah.
and hopefully
Or last
everybody will show up.
court where
And
had apparently missed a couple of payments that I wasn't aware of, and they sent me a letter to show cause why I wasn't paying my child support. And I was like, "What does this?" We went into full panic mode, but I got a hold of them, and they said that I had missed those payments. We have made up the payments.
yeah,
We mailed them in. and paid up the couple that was past due, and we're paid up for the rest of the year. So whenever I go to court, I should be able to take at least one more payment in for this year's. That way I'll be a couple hundred to the good on this year at least.
That's good.
Yeah.
Which,
So, and
you
it's
know,
time. They need to review it. It's time. I'm ready to see that judge. Um, that's on the, when did I say the 10th? Yours is when? The
the
11th?
12th.
The 12th.
Ours is the
And
12th.
Leah now has another court date on the 9th. And we'll get to that. She's going to come on and talk to us and tell us about everything that's been going on in her life, because I've not been sharing at all.
Right.
Just
Well, we've kept our girls' stuff kind of.
going to come next. But after this stunt that they pulled today, she's ready. They are trying to fuck us over any way that they can. And we ain't having it. Ain't having
Yeah.
it. All right, let's
Yeah.
check. Um, there's Ron. Hello, Ron.
See
Good.
the
And we got the defense rest.
hello. Oh,
This thing.
I've got to.
She said she said it's fucking bullshit trying to turn the blame around on you. They should be unbiased at all times and have the best at all times and have the best interests of the child as a priority at all times. That's true.
It never works out that way. It doesn't seem. Like I said, I was totally floored that they did what they did that day. But thank God they did and everything. Today, though, kind of looking through stuff, I was noticing there is a lot of like different laws and things that I've been a foster parent. I've had you guys around. I've dealt with it with my kids, now my grandkids. And there's a lot of things that I didn't know that we have rights that we don't have to um you know, like the safety plan. That they were talking a
I was
lot
gonna
about.
yeah, I wanted to pull up the specific law about it, and it's froze up. It'll catch up with itself in a second. Ron
Yeah,
said, "You act like that in front of the judge."
yeah, in front of the judge and everybody. Yeah, the whole courtroom. We was one of the first two or three up there, so it was a full courtroom. And like I said, the
So you
bailiff ended up
that
it.
judge would say, "Wait a minute. I think it's best that this child go with her mother."
Right, or her
I
grandmother that
court
standing here
that
not.
hold you in contempt, charge you maybe domestic
Well,
violence or something.
there's four, no, five now. There's five already, five contempt charges because of the visits not going through. They've defied the court order. Court order is, every other weekend. And, they think because of what went on with Sarah that gives them grounds to say, haha, to the judge, we're going to make the rule now. But, until a motion's filed and it's changed, that's how it's supposed to be. But, so we just keep going and getting the paperwork for the contempt. And, hopefully they'll catch it, or I hope they will catch it.
So Kentucky law mandates universal reporting of suspected child abuse or neglect. Judge Jimmy Kraft mandated reporting of it. You are the judge. That was up to you to make a decision in the moment. There, I feel like where is your decency?
I think it
Where's
even caught him off guard. I mean, I'm not defending him, or maybe I am. I don't know, but I think it was kind of one of them things that nobody seen it coming. It's kind of a heartfelt moment. He agreed to let Sarah hug her, and then next thing you know, you've got the bailiff and everybody's yelling, and it's like,
but
okay,
after all the reports and the videos of the beatings and
oh,
the everything else, with
and
all of
him
that,
threatening. Now he did. He
that's what
threatened our lawyer.
That's what makes him a piece of shit, that he's seen all this stuff already.
He
And
threatened our lawyer. Our lawyer called back in
I'm mad at
and
him anyway
told
about
him,
what he said to Leah today. I am so fed up with this court system. I
is
am.
it the same one that she had to go before too?
Jimmy Craft. Why? Why is she in Letcher County? They transferred her probation to Floyd County
Floyd. Floyd.
after they lied on her, almost hemmed her up in a bunch of shit, and she had to prove her way out of it,
Yeah,
trying to say she didn't do her rehab programs and shit. They're still pulling that shit.
I
Still.
know. That
Again. Like,
but she done
girl,
her
you're
stuff. She got everything done. And when she transferred from Letcher to Floyd, everything was, you know, or you would think there would have been a problem with the transfer, or, so they could have told her something. I mean, I'm just
her
not
probation officer
understanding.
himself said that he was supposed to have told her. He said that. I was supposed to told her and I didn't. I wasn't here to tell her
Yeah,
about the warrant. He could have took care of it. There never should have been a warrant issued by Letcher County anyway.
right, where she
Yeah,
had transferred.
if county charge, I understand that. But when you transfer your probation to a different county,
Then
that
that's on.
doesn't mean that if you get falsely arrested, that the old county gets to pop up and be like, oh no, we're just going to revoke everything now. She's
Yeah,
not convicted of anything. The arrest was false. The fucking officers mishandled the whole situation. They wouldn't even give her a sobriety test or nothing.
no, no, they
So
wouldn't.
no, no.
And
They
then
were
the
bullied
sobriety
by
test they gave her husband was
a bunch of fucking bullies. And Blake
laughable.
were being bullied by a bunch of fucking pedophiles. She said she found out last night Jamie Hatton has ran unopposed for the past 4 elections. He posted on Facebook the other day that he's not going to seek re-election. Finally, I'm shaking. I'm so mad about Leah. Let me see where she's at. I'm gonna blank out off the screen for a second so I can open this messenger.
Okay. You want me to go ahead and talk about doing like a safety plan?
Yes, yes, I
Uh,
pulled that up too.
I had looked it up and it was talking about how safety plans, unless court ordered, now they can, if it is court ordered, then yeah, you're stuck. But if you are offered to do one voluntarily, no, because it kind of like how we talk about drug court takes away people's rights. Well, if you sign a safety plan, it allows them more rights than what the judge can give them. Like they at that point can tell you who can you can
That
date, who you can live
your
with,
right
who can come in and out of your home.
is what that is.
Huh?
I said that is you signing some of your rights over to them.
To
Is what
them
the plan is.
is
It's not
basically.
a plan. It's not legally required.
No,
It's a
it's
trick.
not.
It's a trick.
And you can also, if even if one is court ordered, you can go in and you can discuss
Okay.
the arrangements, or
Here,
you're allowed to change your own safety plan.
parents' key rights during investigations and court proceedings is the right to be informed of the allegations. CPS must notify the parents of specific concerns being investigated.
Which means
That
they have to tell you the allegations made against you. So, because how are you supposed to defend yourself and defend, what's going on if you don't even know what you've been
they're
accused of?
accused of.
Yeah.
So also have the right to remain silent, just like in an arrest. And consult an attorney. Parents may seek legal counsel before speaking with
Yes.
CPS. When they knock on your door, you don't have to talk to them. You can
No.
go to your lawyer and make an appointment to come
No
to go to
warrant.
the office and talk to them.
No warrant. No entry.
So,
Everything I have looked at today was no warrant, no entry. I
yeah,
mean, just don't even entertain it. Just,
yeah,
do you have a warrant? If
right.
you don't, okay.
Have a court order there, or there is an emergency. Parents may refuse entry to their home. Right to attend interviews. Did they let anybody sit with Scarlett? Was Sarah allowed to go with Scarlett to her interview with the advocate?
Scarlet, no.
Yeah,
No,
thanks.
we didn't say it with
So,
Tony's or
uh,
Scarlett's.
see, like if knowing that, if we would have known that going in, we could have insisted.
Could have insisted on that. And then another thing that's very important is you can also request any and all records that involve you, your name, your kids, whatever allegations and all. You can request that, you
Yeah,
know, on a written request, and they have to give you your records. That they're your records. So,
yeah,
they have to. So, it would have helped to have known all that because, you never know,
yeah.
you
And
know.
also have the right to access records. Parents can request copies of investigative findings, though some information, like the reporter's identity, may be redacted.
Yeah.
Uh, and like you found out the hard way that just requesting it at the clerk's office isn't good enough. You have to ask for some for the specific hidden parts of the file because
Yep.
it's not in the main file.
It's not in it.
Yeah.
It'll be a
And
confidential part that, it takes them a minute to go find it, and then, but yeah.
so for court proceedings, you have the right to notice of hearings. Parents must receive timely notice of all court hearings and the issues to be addressed. Right to counsel. And indigent parents are entitled to appointed counsel in most states for dependency and TPR proceedings. So you can have them appoint an attorney for you if you don't have one. But we all know what the fucking appointed
That,
attorney is like.
yeah, they tell you to call hazard to Apple Red. They put you on a list, and that goes nowhere.
Yeah.
Still
So
ain't got
you
a call back.
evidence and cross-examine witnesses, and that means without being told that you're retaliating, without being accused of being combative.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
allowed to present
Questions.
and cross-examine their witnesses. So it says parents can challenge the CPS findings, present their own evidence, and question agency witnesses. So if they put a witness on the stand, you can question them.
Yeah.
Like whenever they tried to do that, put that one on there, that one time and she had actually done something horrible to you
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
You would have been able, you had the right. If they try to put her on the stand, witness against you, you had the right to question her directly.
Well, see, there is a whole thing in there that you
So,
can, it's a civil rule or something that I found today, that if you can prove it's, basically rumors and gossip, pretty much, you can have that pulled out of your record. And if any decision has been made on that kind of evidence, you can, it puts you in line for an appeal. You
yeah,
can
that
appeal.
one up was the right to appeal.
Yeah.
There are
So,
deadlines on some things, but so here are some defense strategies effective against CPS. In we've got gathering evidence like medical records, school reports, witness statements, and to demonstrate parents' capacity and refute allegations. Expert testimony. Professionals such as psychologists or pediatricians may provide assessments supporting the parent's case. Documentation, keeping detailed records of all interactions with CPS and compliance with service plans is crucial.
and I'll
Oh,
tell you something else I found out today too that kind of stuck with me. If they start asking you, where do you work? How much do you make? Things like that. They don't necessarily, you don't have to
you
answer
don't
that. I mean,
tell
poverty doesn't equal abuse.
right.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
can be under
a
the
lot of
poverty
people get
level
by
and still be an
uh,
adequate parent.
by other methods other than spending cash. Like here in Appalachia, there's a lot of bartering and trading, and and just about everybody has government assistance.
Yeah.
So, like, that's not even an excuse. That's not a valid excuse unless you're in a home that is absolutely falling apart and can't pay your bills at all, and you're spending all your money on drugs or something. Like, yes, I could. But just to look at a parent and say, no, you have to have a full time job, that's illegal. They can't make you go to work full time. They can't make you go to work, period. If you have other
Yeah.
means of supporting yourself or other people who help you support your family, then they cannot force you that's forced labor. That's
Yeah.
slavery. They can't do that. Um, Then you've also got your like legal aid organizations, pro bono attorneys that provide critical support. We've ran into quite a few advocates doing this that volunteer their time. They're like retired social workers and they volunteer their time and will travel and come and go to court with people to be a witness and an advocate in the courtroom for these parents who, rarely have somebody to stand up for them.
Stand up
So,
for them.
welcome, Pocahontas, our
Hello.
Sorry,
little
I'm late, y'all.
Leelah. It's okay. She was supposed to be next, but she's not even on here yet. So you're right on time. Perfect timing. Perfect. We're just getting to the end of this CPS proceedings thing. Um, we're working on putting together a PDF file for this too, with links and resources and phone numbers, stuff like that. Like we want to try to make all this, the things we learn in this process, we want to try to make it available so that you guys can learn from our mistakes. You know.
It is, I find it really difficult to learn from mistakes because when you walk into family court, you have so many people, they will drag it out, and you have so many individuals that are tied up in family court and they drag it out on purpose
Our
because,
case should have took 30 days, and we've been here 18 months.
yep,
Yeah.
they drag it out because, it's $1 billion industry. And one thing that I have learned coming from Chicago down to Kentucky, Kentucky does whatever they want. So even if you try to follow the rules, you do everything by the book. They
Yeah.
always use some type of loophole. They will put out fake arrest warrants, like forged documents, and that's including CPS. Um, you have a lot of people who have never even someone just caught a drug charge that
Yeah.
find themselves in situations where their kids are being taken from them.
Yeah.
It's happening on every level. I strongly feel like it has happened to those who were affected by the opioid epidemic. And instead of helping those people, the system ripped those families apart and it caused generational harm.
Yes.
And now you see CPS going after people who don't want to vaccinate their children. You see them going after um, people who just want to send their kid, like want to homeschool their kids. There is no boundary anymore.
No.
Never let them inside of your home. Never. Because even if it's spotless, like they can come up with any type of false claim. And it's because of the way that they're trained. And the way that they're trained is to pretty much take the kids away. Why do they do that? Because it's $1 billion industry and there's financial incentives to continue court proceedings and to take children away from their families. The state thinks that they can raise their kids or your kids better than you can. And coming from Chicago, usually they would side with the mother because, children need their mothers. Down here, I have noticed that 9 times out of 10, and I am so serious, 9 times out of 10, they will side with the abuser. Let your kid go with the abuser so they can groom them, prep them, so on and so forth. And a lot of times it's just because, like, one parent has political connections or pull, or one parent has more money than the other one. And
Yeah.
then sometimes you'll get judges that just don't like women. I've seen one judge like pretty much take children away from the mothers and give them to the fathers just because he wasn't a fan of women. I don't know who hurt him, but you
Yeah.
could you could
That's
tell the
definitely
bias.
the wounded little boy in that. You can definitely see it. Somebody hurt him.
Right. Well, I think at this time, whenever I noticed that that judge was taking the kids and giving them to the male parent most of the time, there was it's like basically cash for kids,
Yeah.
and And they were,
There's financial incentives every time they remove a child from the home.
yep.
They get federal money.
Hmm.
It is state sanctioned kidnapping.
Yes. And they're even doing medical
It
kidnapping.
is, yeah, it's
Yeah,
child trafficking under color of law, is
yep,
what it is. Period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
yep.
Um,
And a lot of these kids, I just had a woman reach out to me, and she had 3 children. One was a newborn, born in July, and within 2 months of being with this foster family,
mhm.
the baby died of SIDS. And what happened was these foster parents put it in a crib that had too many pillows and blankets and propped up a bottle, and the baby smothered to death. Guess what? They're still foster parents, face no repercussions whatsoever. None.
That's crazy.
Why is that possible?
Right.
Because those people make too much money for the state, and they're draining our social security and using it for child support. You can blame every bit of this on the Clintons, but the time that I was talking about Larry Thompson, who is a Democrat, was separating families, they even did a special on it. You would see these parents who were pillars of the community, let's so to say, and um, say they couldn't have children. They would literally just pick out a child from a family that was less fortunate. CPS would go in and take their kids, and they were getting kickbacks, money for it. And the program was so good that they actually ran out of funding, and then it morphed into this monster that you see today.
That's all
So
the subtle horror.
somebody asked, how does removing a child from a family warrant government funding? And while it shouldn't, um, I wanted to double check what it is, and it's yes. CPS and state child welfare agencies receive federal funding tied to foster care placements under programs like the Title 4E of the Social Security Act. This funding structure means that states are reimbursed for eligible foster care costs, which critics argue creates a financial incentive to remove children rather than to support families in a home. Um, how much per child?
100 to 150 million a year for foster parents placement for adoption, with bonuses for meeting targets, anywhere between $4,000 to $6,000 per adoption.
Well, I can tell you from personal experience, but this is from 2006 was the last time I had, foster kids or whatever. We was going through a private agency, not the state. The state would contract through other agencies, and we was going through a private agency, and it was $1,000 per child. But what that is considered is
So
reimbursement. It's not considered as a payment. It's considered
consider
reimbursement.
reimbursement for what you spend on the child. It's maintenance payments. It's supposed to cover food, clothing, shelter, school supplies, and personal incidentals.
But you
So
got
the
to think,
federal reimbursement rate, called the federal medical assistance percentage, it ranges from 50 to 83%, depending on the state's income level. So if the monthly care cost, if the foster parent reports that they spend $1,000 a month on the child, then the federal government can give them up to 500 to 830 for that child monthly, with the state covering the rest of the full amount.
so then
And
you
then
imagine
you factor in the adoptions. That's where the bigger money comes in. It's whenever they actually get your rights taken and they get to adopt them out.
Now, when you drive
That's when the
around
big money
Eastern
comes. Bigger
Kentucky,
money comes when they move them across state lines.
yep, you can see there are signs all over.
everywhere.
If you look when you're driving on the side of the road that says, "Do you want to become a foster parent?"
Foster parents needed. Foster parents needed.
We should have not been foster parents. I'm sorry. We should have not been foster parents. I'll be the first one to say it. But red flags were overlooked that I didn't even know anything about.
That
And
you should have been made aware of as a mother and as his wife. You would think they would tell you, like, look, this is what he said on this paper.
Okay, but they didn't.
But
But
no,
not
didn't think that was worth mentioning. Where's the mandated reporting on that?
we had
The
domestic
man
violence.
answered the questions too honestly and told all over himself before he even done it. And they just said, okay, here you go. Here's your little girl.
There you go.
And that's
So
why there's a lot of trafficking that takes place.
So, but there's more money involved than just that.
because
So
you
there's
got
also
to,
administrative costs. Here's where the big money comes in the administrative costs. This is to pay your case management workers, your eligibility determinators, training for staff, training for foster parents. It reimburses at 50% federal match, which means that, and then the training cost is reimbursed at 75%. So training for the foster parents, caseworkers, and private agency staff is reimbursed at 75% by the federal government. And the state government also pitches in on that too. So it's not just the money going to that foster parent. Like a lot of foster parents are in it for the right reasons and are providing good homes. Like there are good foster parents and good foster homes out there. We're not saying that they're all bad, but
no,
the
But
there
problem
is
is
it
in the
opens up
system
the
itself.
door
It's
for
in it
trafficking.
is in the money that everybody else is making off your children.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah. And not only that, but you have kids who end up in boys' home, foster parents. A lot of the time, these kids are getting adopted, and I love the LGBT community. Don't get me wrong, but gay couples, like men, will adopt them, and then they end up getting abused. A lot of stories like that have happened. And Kentucky gets 50 to 70 million yearly for child support collection, with the courts enforcing maximum reimbursements. And it's all tied to like the renewals and separation trigger the payments, and adoption bonuses, which is 4,000, which pressures like the termination. And with the 24 data showing 1,500 or more adoptions, but low reunifications. So they're not trying to unite them, and it's $250 an hour, which is often a burden to like on parents just to pay for representation.
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's extremely difficult for you to fight for your kids if you are in the system. And a
Hmm.
lot of parents' rights, I mean, they don't even get due process. There was a
no,
mother who all she said was that is
So we
basically
have
she said it
a
was a lie. She said like what you just stated, what like the CPS worker stated isn't true, and she was reprimanded in court and
yeah,
taken to jail. So,
this has adoption and legal guardianship incentive programs authorized under the Title 4E section. Same segment. It provides cash bonuses to the states
mhm.
and eligible tribes when they increase the number of children adopted or placed in legal guardianship compared to the previous year. So they get more cash bonuses if they increase how many children they remove at the end of the year. If they steal more kids next year, they get a bonus for that.
yeah.
The program is administered by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services
Mhm.
and the Administration for Children and Families, the ACF. So DCBS, or not DCBS, but it's the HHS and the ACF, which is at your DCBS office in most places around here. I don't know if that's how it is in other places. I'm assuming so. But it says that the bonus amounts that states earn different amounts depending on the category of the child adopted. And this is how they categorize our children. Older youth, age 9 and above, can be $10,000 per adoption, just in the bonus.
Mhm.
Children with special needs under the age of 9 have a $4,000 per adoption. You'd think that they would have the incentive as high on the special needs children as they would on
You have to have special
a normal
training
child.
for medically
But
fragile. We had
then
to
why
have
is
it.
the bonus so much different, reckon? Because that's almost half. That's less than half what you get that if you adopt a healthy child.
They had it in levels when we
Yeah.
were
Well, here's the next one is the
level.
overall foster care adoptions, which the general category that most children fall under is $5,000 per adoption. But if they're over 9, it's worth $10,000.
Yeah.
So states
Starter.
can also earn guardianship incentives for children placed in permanent guardianship, meaning that the state collects funds back from
The
who?
parent.
The parent.
The parent.
The parent.
Take your rights, but then they make you pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the goal is supposedly to reduce the number of children lingering in foster care. There wouldn't be these children lingering in foster care if they would stop their human trafficking.
Let's fix mom and dad's problems. Let's help mom and dad get back on their feet. Let's take and get that lined out so they
Remove
can
the barrier. Yeah.
Oh no, when you go into that courtroom, they do everything to make you fight in order to drag it out so
And spend more money.
lawyers get more money, the court
uh,
system gets more
you've
money,
got,
and
you've got hair follicle test, and you've got drug testing, and then you've got
It's here it
parenting
says that
classes. And,
one of the incentives are meant to offset the cost of adoption, but to also encourage states to prioritize permanency planning. So let's not prioritize getting them back in their homes. Let's prioritize adopting them out to permanent new parents with
permanency.
abusers.
right. The United States is the largest human trafficking operation in the entire world. Period. Period.
Yeah.
There, it's mind blowing how many children are in the system. CPS has just been showing up taking children away. Like, it's factual. Like, we are the number one human trafficking country in the world. Think about that.
And we're supposed to be, the most advanced or the most, well, you know what I'm saying?
Yep, it's all a lie. Like, they tell us, oh, we're so great at innovation, economics, all these things. No, we are
Oh,
lacking. We are lacking in healthcare. In Eastern Kentucky, this place is so easy to take advantage of because of the opioid crisis. And
right.
that's what's heartbreaking is there hasn't been any solutions. And when you have our region specifically, Hal Rogers District is the poorest in the state, while he hands over multi-million-dollar contracts to the SOAR initiative, which is, his nonprofit.
Yeah.
Everybody else is wallowing in poverty.
Yeah.
And this area, everyone gets taken advantage of, whether, it's getting ripped off by the water companies because there's only one and
Yeah.
they've got a monopoly on it so they can raise the rates however they want it. People leave this area and they have successful, peaceful, prosperous lives.
Yeah.
People who struggle here that end up in the system, the moment that they leave, they have normal lives. So
Yeah.
it's not the people, it really is this community. You know, you want to talk
Yeah.
about recovery and you want to talk about healing and stuff. It's hard to do that when it's toxic. You've got medical malpractice running rampant. You've got people who work in the mines and the mining inspectors are getting paid off and then they get hurt. And then you've got people addicted. And then you've got these sleazy lawyers that tell them, oh, you have to take this medicine. Otherwise, you're not going to have your medical bills or this and that paid for. They're just as bad as these physicians and pharmacists and the devil's in a lab coat.
I
It's
asked this
the whole system
estimate.
is fraudulent.
It
It is.
is.
It really.
It's from the top to the bottom, it's rotten to its core.
Hmm.
But
It's rotten to its
like
core.
a lot of this, I noticed today. I was sitting here when I was looking a lot of these things up and stuff. They would take, the women, the vulnerable, that had a drug problem or was having, whatever situation, and to take your children during that time, is I mean, I could just imagine, you know, when you need your, you know, your baby's closest the most, you know, they take them from you, and then you get put in this system of rehabs, and then you get put in this system of drug court, and then you get put in this system, and by the time they run you through all these systems, your child's in second grade. You know, you've
Mhm.
missed the first 10 years of their life
You miss
running
out on
through
everything.
programs.
And then that bonding is,
Yeah.
you're not able to bond with your baby. And I've seen it so many times. And I find it really disturbing how they will pay foster parents, but when you have relatives who step
That are
in
real.
and take care, like they're not giving them any financial help. The state auditor has been begging the Bashir administration to help grandparents or family members who have stepped into that role.
Yeah.
They just refuse.
Well, they don't even give grandparents rights in Kentucky. You know,
Well, I think that that's a good thing because you've got a
I
lot of people that use
what?
children as chess pieces and like trying to, take kids away. Like that's what I've noticed. They use children as chess pieces
Yeah.
around here. And it's like all it takes is for someone to get mad at you over whatever and call social services or their friends, and then you have to
Or
go
to
through the
just decide that
whole
they want your
system.
baby, like what
Yeah, or
happened
if
in
they,
my
yep,
case. You
yep.
know, they just decided that they wanted them.
hmm I suggest everybody go watch this new documentary that was put out. It's called Never in America, and it talks about um, social services, CPS, the court system. It talks about medical kidnapping, all of that. It is one
Yeah.
of the best films pertaining to the kidnapping
And
of our
is
children.
real. You know, it's not, you know, people think, oh, you know, that's conspiracy.
No,
No, it's
it's not a
real.
conspiracy. It is not a
It's
conspiracy. It's not a
real.
theory. It's a conspiracy, but it's not a theory.
No,
It's
I mean,
I
it's
don't
proven
even think
really
it's a
that
time and time
conspiracy at this
again.
point. It's well documented and it's very
right.
well known. Anybody that's in denial probably just sits there and watches like TV all day and they live in fantasy world. Like they're living in front of a TV screen.
Right.
Yeah,
Like a conspiracy is just the truth that hasn't came out yet.
right.
Pretty much, yeah.
Otherwise they
Pretty
would just say,
much.
but
That's
like that's a
it. Or
lie.
what you're awake enough to see at this moment. Because
Right.
I promise you,
I,
the awakening's coming. For anybody that can't see it yet, it's coming. Everybody's going to be able to see it. It's going to be so in your face that,
it's
and I
not
don't
being,
mean like through us, I mean the whole nation is fed up.
yeah,
People are tired of this. People
Yeah.
are tired of being treated like animals, like cattle,
civil
like
liberties
we're
just,
worthless.
it's like I
Yeah.
was thinking today, you know, why give them anything else? You know, they've already took enough, you know, at least let me keep my rights, you know, come on.
We don't have rights like that. I feel like that is all an illusion.
It
All of
is.
my constitutional rights, especially here in Kentucky, have
I
been
mean, come on.
trampled on. Like Kentucky, this Commonwealth state should be called a communist state.
Yes.
Yeah.
And people are sick and tired of it. And there are a lot of people who are coming together, a lot of nonprofits like Let Our Children Go, for one. They're working with doctors, lawyers, state reps, trying to figure out legislation that
I
can
really
help.
want to attend that next meeting too, the next time they do that. That was really good. And I want to sit down with my notepad again and write down some of these names and start reaching out to these people one on one.
Right.
Because they're like making real moves. They've got doctors and lawyers and advocates and
hmm Parents USA, Let Our
parents
Children
in
Go.
our similar boat
There
from
were
all
Kentucky
different
state
walks of life. I saw
representatives.
people in there from all sorts of different
Yeah.
areas of life, like
Yep.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how, you know, you have you have a lot of nonprofits that will come in and help over discrimination or, certain topics like that. We need one for parents,
yes.
Yeah.
that's fully
Um,
funded to
are you
get to
following Francesca Amato?
I don't think so.
She's on Facebook.
But
Look her up. She wrote a book called "Punished for Protecting."
right.
And
But
her and Stand with Meg, they're making waves. They're
I
going to
or
Congress. They're pushing for something called a court watcher,
mhm.
to have the legal right for you to have somebody in there to make the court do what it's supposed to do and follow the rules, because they don't.
Well,
They
that's
don't
going to
follow
be
the rules.
that's going to be really difficult to do.
Well,
That's
people
why I was
are
saying
already
that.
getting backlash on it. The very first people that tried to use it and enact it in court, whenever they called it out, she got her a big ass lawsuit already out of it too, because the judge got mad and retaliated, like right there in the courtroom, and right in front of the watcher, and she was
Right.
like, "Yep, gotcha.
Yeah,
Like I
but this
do.
is what they're doing. They're
This is
putting
why we're doing it
together a nonprofit and actually have a legal team that comes in and helps the parents when they
with
can't afford it.
the
Like come in, bring the pressure, bring the press, and
yeah,
like just, come full force. This way they can't just take children away for, not vaccinating or just like all
yeah,
of the ridiculous things that we've seen, medical kidnapping, like the list goes on, and they're actually putting that together. And you have like Parents USA from Texas. They're like, these people are from all over, and they're working they're working to make a change, and we just need more people to get on board and speak about their experiences. I think Let Our Children Go are going to they're in the process of finishing up their nonprofit, but they're going to start doing YouTube videos and start doing more interviews.
yeah.
And
Be nice. That will help to get the word out and stuff. Which, if you're on social media, and I think that's how just about everybody consumes media, period, these days, because we obviously can't trust what's on the TV on most of the. So
heck, you can't even trust some of these, some of
some of the influencers,
these independent journalists or
yeah,
influencers.
quite a few of them. Uh, I want- so this says that I put in some of the details about my kids and just ask it, like, how much do you think the state has made off of my children? And it came back and said tens of thousands of dollars per child, with more for the one that was adopted.
yeah,
She was adopted twice. She was adopted.
I think the moment that you take that financial incentive away,
yes,
This ends. It stops.
it stops.
Period.
Period.
Then maybe they'll do their job and protect the children instead of fucking putting them in harm.
I mean, the way that things are going, if things don't get better, here's where I'm at. I try to be politically active. I support a lot of people. I've been asked to run for different positions. I like, we are not supposed to have a tyrannical government.
right.
We have our First
Oh,
Amendment and our Second Amendment for a reason. And I think until we, start dragging people out of their homes, taking them to town square, you know what I mean? Like
the
actually
total.
serving up justice ourselves because the whole system is corrupt. Once
Yeah,
that happens, and I'm telling you, there are people who are tired of these politicians lying to us. We are tired of the bogus promises. We're tired of the corruptions. And most of all, people are sick and tired of these corrupt institutions messing with our family and our
Yeah,
kids.
yeah,
that's where it gets.
That's why people are like
Whenever they come for my kid,
supporting Mickey Steins,
keep
because they're
pulling my
like,
kid
yeah, if
back
you're gonna mess with your
over and over.
kid, you did what you're supposed to do. Like people are just sick and tired. They've had enough of the
So listen,
threats, the missing people, the trafficking. They're tired of it.
it
yeah.
says that for just for Leah, the total estimate is $270,000 that the state has made off
Yeah. I
for
paid 160,000
the one
when
that was
I went through my
adopted.
divorce. And what we
100
started off with is what I ended up with.
and
Yeah,
she's 18 yet. So
Right.
and then the other ones, $200,000 each. So 400. They've made $400,000 on my twins. $400,000 on my twins. 270,000 for Leah and 115,000 for the other one.
I believe I watched something today that said it averages 30,000 per. Let's see, 30,000 per month per child. I want to say that's what I seen, but it was the numbers they were given was drastically off. So I don't want to say that was it, but I mean, it was a very high number, and it was just like, wow. Because, I mean, if you break down, like even how I said we went through a private agency, you got to think they had to be making money or they wouldn't have been in business. So, you had the state paying them, staying
I think
paying
it's
them.
mirrored.
So, it just kind of trickles down.
Yeah.
So,
So
um,
yeah, it comes up to the total across all four of them $785,000 in federal reimbursements and bonuses over the years that they have made for removing my children from me. That
so,
is
So
disgusting.
it,
Considering that they've got me on life parole for $26,000 in child support
yeah.
on the one that's 22 years old.
to me, that's blackmail. They're
It
doing
is.
that to keep you in the system to
It is.
silence you.
It
Yes.
is. It
That's
straight up is. It's
That's what a lot of
retaliation,
people.
it's
And
blackmail, and it's extortion.
yep, it exactly. That's
It's
the moment
extortion.
that I
Pay me
came
or I'll
down
put
here.
you in
That's what I've
jail.
dealt with.
That
It's
is debtor's
extortion,
prison.
medical malpractice, trampling of my constitutional rights. Like I said, this is like a communist state. Like you see this kind of stuff going on in China and third world countries.
That's because our area has I mean, it's like stuck in medieval times. There's nothing has we've not progressed with anything, I don't think.
No, because they extort our money. Even down to like the water, we're supposed to have all this money for clean water projects. I looked into where like Martin County, where that big spill happened and the water was contaminated. It was as bad as Flint, Michigan. $4 million, or was it 6 million? I think it was $6 million was already handed over, and they hadn't even broke ground on the project yet, and they asked for another 400,000. Where did the money go? Because I know that the people that were the commissioners over that place bought a home in Montana and in Florida. They've all got lake houses. They've all got, vacation homes away from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and in Missouri, um, I'm not exactly like in Missouri, 31 judges had to, family court judges had to step down because they got caught in a chat where they were talking about cash for kids and how if people heard they would lose their jobs and stuff like that, and someone actually recorded them and busted them. So when they
Thank
get on
God.
their little Zoom calls, they all talk about how they're going to separate kids, and they just think it's funny because they're making bank. But 31 had to step down. Could you imagine if we had someone who had enough guts to actually come forward and say, hey, this is happening? Because if it's happening in Missouri, it's
Yeah.
happening in every state. Like
Right.
they've been busted for cash for kids. I don't know how many times.
Yeah. Somebody does want to come forward with something like that, we can leak it and keep you secret, keep you private, keep you safe.
Yes.
We understand the repercussions. We understand the threat of doing such a thing, but we also are trying to stress the importance of doing it anyway.
Because right now
Sometimes you got to take a
whatever
risk to
they've
protect the innocent.
Because a lot of
Like,
times these kids they get put into foster care and they're abused. Like you might have a parent that is has a dependency, but when they remove that child, then they end up trafficked, sexually abused, or even end up dead.
yeah,
I had many come to my home that had been in previous homes that had been abused, and they just to fix that problem they moved them to a different place.
yeah.
So
I know girls that say that every foster home that they were ever in
yeah,
abused them.
I
yep.
know one foster mom that lived on Greasy Creek in Pike County, Kentucky. She had about 8 kids in her home, and she was selling Oxycontin wide open. everyone knew about it. Everyone.
Nobody cared because she was raking in all that money for the kids. That's how they keep you fucking. It's part of it. Part of their mission, part of the goal. Keep the parents strung out, steal their kids.
Yep.
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 Yeah.
There's no profit in healing. There is. There's only profit in addiction, and that's why you see so many people getting caught up in the same cycle. Anytime that we have the opportunity to implement real solutions, they
It's shut.
disregard it. They disregard it every time. And it's always at the detriment of, you know,
Of the family, the
of the
child,
families.
the
Yeah.
family unit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Eli pointed out here, Brandy, a second ago said that the Kentucky Revised Statute specifically grants grandparents the right to seek reasonable visitation.
See, I just found that out. But here's another thing. I had been told this whole time you have to have a lawyer. You have to have a lawyer. You have to have a lawyer. I can't afford a lawyer. But I found out today that it makes it actually a felony if they don't, like, say if I'm, help me here. What's it called? Kind of doing it myself, pro se, like I'm defending myself or representing myself, I guess. I can file the paperwork. I don't have to have an attorney do it for me. And so to have someone in a public clerk's office tell you that they can't file paperwork and you are a citizen of that town or community is against the law. So you can file paperwork and, things. I
Yeah.
mean,
I
best
was
to do it with an attorney if you can afford an attorney, but
filed.
not everybody can afford an attorney. So,
Um, and while I would recommend double checking your chat GPT and like cross referencing it, do your own reading, like compare it to the law books, make sure it's accurate.
I, did,
But
I
they can
didn't.
help you draft
Oh,
motions, tell you what motions are appropriate for your particular situation. You can
Yeah.
tell it like what are your co-pilot or whatever your AI is.
They
Preference.
said that it's best though if you tell it I am pro se or pro se.
Pro,
It's
hey, I'm
PRO.
an attorney
I
and file a motion to do this, or I want to get custody of my children back, or I want to contest my child support, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. Just be specific, and it
give it
will
all
ask
your
the right
skills.
questions, help fill in the gaps, and then it can help you narrow down like what you can do yourself to take initiative in the matter.
Yeah,
I think that there are so many people who have been harmed by the system. I genuinely think that we need to start protesting.
I do too. I do too. I just
Because
told that this morning, was driving up the holler, and my neighbor down here's got big signs all over her yard about opposing the electric prisons. I said, she does a lot of activism and stuff. I wonder if she would help us like schedule or like put together a big protest, like, because I know she has other friends that work like in this same kind of activism
we
with
were
jail
also
reform
thinking that it would be a good thing to start going to court together
to get
with each
in
other.
trouble, like Innocence Projects. She does a lot of that kind of work.
I
I'm gonna go knock on her door tomorrow.
think that'd be great.
And I
But,
think
and we
get up
don't
with
have that.
Mildred and her megaphone. We need to just pull it together. It's time to get serious and make a stand, or they're not ever going to take us seriously, I don't think.
Right.
And with everybody's court dates coming up in the next week,
Like I said, we need to pull
good time.
together and try to be, if you can show up for each other, show up for each other,
Yeah,
and
I
uh, you know,
always try my best to show up. Like
yeah,
I'm
yeah. Nicole is on it.
there's not enough hours in a day, but I try my best to be there when it matters.
Yeah, we've got some good people in our court. We've got some smart people in our court. Like
yes,
they underestimated us so much and just so confident that all their poisons are dumbing us down. All their fluoride is going to keep us so asleep. And
that's
I
how
have
I said I feel
money
like
at their
That well
audacity.
water.
Like, what? But you mentioned the water a while ago, and I
Hmm.
wanted Brandy Where is it? You said all them kids has cancer. Was it Virginia?
Scott County, Virginia.
Virginia,
Yeah.
but kids have cancer,
Oh
and
yeah.
that's because of the water.
There's
You
a lot
know,
of cases.
I spoke to a woman today who said after she started using city water, that's whenever she got cancer. And I noticed we didn't jump on board with that fad. We were like, why were we've got a salt water filter and then a filtration system. We're not going to pay for water. And the rise in cancer, the timeline coincides
Yeah.
when they implemented that.
Yep.
So, and sometimes I think like, am I so spunky because I have well water? Because sometimes I look at people and I'm like, how are you all so docile?
Right.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
You're angry.
Yeah,
With. Like, aren't you pissed about this shit? Like,
yeah.
I'm
Like they,
disgusted and angry from the inside out. Like, I don't
I'm
know.
just learning this stuff. So it's like, holy moly, where have I been?
Well,
It's like I've been in a long just slumber. Like,
uh, it's like
or I
every
don't do that.
and just been asleep to everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
People.
Well, and then you have like the media outlets that they don't touch on these stories. There's so many stories that the mainstream media refuses to touch. I
yeah,
mean, people are just unaware, and then they see the propaganda of like these corrupt politicians, judges, lawyers handing each other money and donating to make themselves look good.
Yeah.
And the people who are promoted 9 times out of 10 are the worst people. Like I see so many of these candidates who are running for office, and let me tell you, this is going to be one of the most interesting election seasons that we've had. And I've been collecting a lot of evidence for the past 2.5 years, and I've held on to it because I wanted to share it for this special occasion, and I'm going to let all of it out. And there's so much to talk about, especially it. I think what is her? It's Jamie Hatton's
Worth it
sister.
for you. It is so healing and
What is
so
Jamie Hatton's sister's name?
See?
Angie.
And
Angie. That's right. I've got a whole file on her. You know how everybody's power rate keeps raising? Oh,
Hmm.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. When you start talking about the corruption, people love to send you information. They
They
do.
definitely do.
Right. And I don't post
Yes.
it for clicks and likes. I keep it for important occasions because I'm not
Yes.
trying to hurt anybody or ruin your reputation.
We
You
just
know,
want solutions.
we just want solutions. We just
Real
want
do
things
ones.
to get better.
Lasting ones. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want
do the
people to
right.
do their jobs.
With the best interest of the people,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
children and the people,
Right.
not the Jamie unopposed Hatton. Jamie is Hatton.
yeah. That's Jamie's.
They
Yeah,
are
that's.
one and the same.
I went to school with her. Played sports with her. She
Oh yeah,
actually
it's that's his sister.
his sister.
That's
Yeah,
his
she put
yes.
her.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what
Her
the sentence said. It wasn't making sense in my brain. It said Jamie
state
unopposed
representative
Hutton. Hatton. Yeah.
All you
Yeah,
have to do
that's
is
Angie
follow
Hatton's
the
sister
money,
or brother.
guys. Just
Yeah.
follow
state
the money.
representative for a
Yeah.
while, or one term, 1 or 2 terms. I don't remember.
I don't know.
Didn't she give a big speech about the power bill like a couple of years ago that everybody was just, enamored
Yeah.
over? Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
I
I
remember.
don't even think I've told you all about the interesting details I found out pertaining to AEP and Angie Hatton, but we'll talk about it later. I'm definitely going to write a post. These all of these individuals that are so used to just getting away with setting people up, violating our constitutional rights. They all got
Ignoring the
something to
rights.
Yep, they've all got something to hide.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah,
And so do their family members 9 times out of 10. That's where the money's at. when you start looking into their families and their connections, then you see the whole picture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The grandfathering,
Grooming.
the grooming.
Hmm.
Yep. It all fits. It all clicks into place.
Yeah.
Didn't make any
Um.
well. I
Huh?
can't see none of the questions or stuff. I don't know if anybody's.
Oh, let me see if I can get these up on the. Oh no, I need to pay the bill. I need to pay it. I didn't pay it this month because where we were kind of in a little bit of a hiatus.
Yeah. Hey, it's been a month.
What we need to do is go down to the capital, either Frankfurt or Washington, and start hitting up these politicians. Hey,
Yes, we
we've
need
heard
to
of
go
this
start
situation.
going and protesting in some of these bigger places. I think
Mm-hmm.
we
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
to make an appearance in Frankfurt. We need to start doing stuff like we were, like when we went to London and stuff. That was having an impact. I think it's time to buckle down and get real serious
I
because
protested at the
I mean
Capitol.
the revolution of the people is coming regardless,
Oh
and
yeah,
we have a better way to build things. So like, why not give us a chance? Listen to us, hear us out. You know,
we
we
really
tried it
need,
your way for decades, and look
and
what the fucking hot mess of the cesspit we're in.
yeah,
You know,
it's been
can't hurt to
decades,
step
and
back and let the fucking women try to do something, do some good. Like,
we need to get the right people in office.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
That
You
is so
know, with
important.
thinking
She
that
said,
they
"Can I
have
leave the county?" Yeah, yeah, I can
like
leave the county. I can leave the state too with permission if it's not very far or if I provide enough details.
they have made the population of Letcher County, they criminalize people so badly that who's voting? You
Right.
know?
There's
Who's
nobody to vote. That's why the governor appoints everybody.
it's like we have no,
I'd love to see the
everybody
election, the
criminalized.
fucking the counts. How many? What names are on them? How many convicted felons do they have in their voting and that they're letting it go through? How many people it's not even registered are casting their vote because somebody's got to be casting them
But like I said, they have
or they
criminalized every
don't somehow.
the
I don't know.
point.
They're getting them somehow. I don't know how the hell they do it.
I mean, and then
So it don't
it,
really matter if they run unopposed or not because they ain't nobody to vote.
yeah,
Everybody's convicted of something.
Well, and we need more secure elections. A lot of times, people who work for the unions, they have to vote a certain way, and if they don't, they lose their jobs.
yeah,
Wow, really? I did not know
Yes.
that.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
it's against the law, I think, but
And
but
we've had election interference. There was a police officer, a Kentucky State Trooper named Keith Keith Justice, who was the private investigator of the Pike County Judge Executive Ray Jones, and he went and intimidated election officers, handcuffed them, and everything. He was slapped with like a $500 fine, 6 months on like probation or something, and he ended up becoming the chief of police at Wheelwright. This is the same police officer who shot and killed a young man who he was harassing, and they let the statute of limitation run out, so he got off scot free. And then he became a detective.
oh my god,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't have safe and secure elections, and
no.
Let's see what these comments said.
we got a lot of problems we need to fix.
Somebody said they're having a week-long biker rally in Dearborn come May to make a stand. Hell yeah.
Dearborn, Michigan.
And she says, who's he's PI? That is Joel Cotton.
Oh, Cotton.
Yeah. His email address is jncotton63@gmail.com. Let me put that in the chat if anybody is.
Has anything?
Yeah. Okay. And there we go. I'll add that there. I gotta find a pair of shoes. So I'm gonna go feed this cat.
Well, ladies, I'm sorry that I joined late and I wasn't really prepared. It was kind of right off of the cuff. Um,
You
my
and your
kids,
phone.
my kids are a little sick right now. I don't know if
Yeah.
they're gonna have school tomorrow or not. So
Oh,
I'm gonna have to get in bed soon. It is past my bedtime.
it
I'm
is mine
eating.
too. I managed just take a 2 hour nap today,
Hmm.
so I'm not overslept, and I'm gonna actually go to sleep tonight, and I'm looking forward to it.
I kept
To
saying,
being up during the day tomorrow.
"Are you
Um,
up?"
Okay. Oh my goodness, it's so dark in here. Here, why do they always want to stand in front of your feet when it's dark?
Be
That's right
careful.
where they go.
be careful.
There
But
we go. They'll
ladies,
get in front of me and just sit down on top of my foot.
It was fun, Nicole.
it was a
Yes.
pleasure as always. Thank you for having
You were
me.
great. Thank you so much.
I look forward to seeing you all next week. We've got some big things
Yes.
coming up,
Got
don't
big
we?
things coming up next week. We got big surprises coming.
Oh yeah, I've had a
About to knock their
situation that
socks
happened
off.
in Letcher County about a decade ago, and I never had the opportunity to speak up, tell my side, and all of that's going to change. So I look forward to announcing it. Hopefully, we can announce it later on. But
Yes. I'm
we do
looking
have
forward to
some
that
big
too.
things going on.
And yeah, maybe we could do something for the protest right around that same time. It'd probably be good timing for it.
We need to we
Get
need
everybody
to
mobilized.
we need to mobilize, organize, and work
Do
something
something.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah. All
yeah.
right. Well, I love
Hey,
you,
I finally
ladies.
found me a phone charger. Now I can sit down and be still. Okay, you have a good evening, a good night.
All right. I love you all, and I will
I
see you
love you.
soon. Bye.
Bye. Okay, Brandy, are we hanging up right now, or
Do you want to?
let me check on Leah? Sit there for just a second and let me see where she's at. Hello,
Because
child. I don't see her. Let me message Dylan.
Nicole
She is
she's
good stuff.
yes she is.
She is so smart too. It just, I love it. She'll tell them just like it is. I love to see women who have strong boundaries and stuff too. Like it sets a good example for me because
Yeah.
I'm not always so strong in my boundaries. So it's helpful for me to be around other women who are,
Who? Yeah.
yeah, who are like more secure in,
Like
you
after
know,
having conversations with you and her, I even stop and realize things.
yeah,
Like we was talking about. I was telling you things about you know during my marriage and things, and things I didn't even you don't think of it as that
yeah.
should have been I should have ran. I should have
Should have
ran.
stayed on that mountain. Should have let Papa handle it.
Exactly it.
Yep, that's for sure. All right, let me see here. Where this kid? No, I told him. All right, she didn't. She hadn't answered me, so I sent him a message. Her husband, since he's the one getting his haircut, and his green light was on. I sent her the link and said, "Tell her to hurry." Yeah,
Cause
Smoker Hunter's has got
her,
she's got a big following over on X, and it's a lot of politicians and stuff. She gained her following calling out Andy Bashir
yeah,
on his nonsense, which I thought was hilarious. If you go back and look at some of her posts, like she absolutely rips these people, and it's wonderful. It's amazing because she speaks truth. Like she's well
demure.
educated and presents her facts in a way that you can't deny it. You have to look at it.
Yeah,
Like
but like I
makes you
said,
think
she
about it
does
from a different perspective.
and demure, and it's like it's facts and it's straight,
Yeah,
but
I had
she
to give
doesn't
it to this other
like
phone to
you
find my
know
link. Hang on a second. I don't have X downloaded on this yet. Her handle is Smokahontas, though. If you just type in
Yeah,
Smokahontas, you'll find her. I don't know where
she's
that
in
asshole's at.
the courtroom.
Laying dead somewhere, probably. Hell, I don't know. Ain't doing me no good to look at it, and this one's gonna go dead. Or look for it.
I'm I got one at 15 and one at 27. So we're
I let this one get almost down to 5 a second ago. Okay. Let me see here where this kid's at.
I think the camera drains
We
it.
might have
Like,
to just get back on there with her. We might have to come back whenever
okay.
she gets finished. I wish she'd come on though so we can finish up and then go to bed. I'm looking forward to a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
Dustin's already been in bed for 2 hours.
Oh, Lord.
He worked all day though.
Yeah.
He left the house at like 5:30 or 6 this morning.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna even get up and take me to the gas station at 5 o'clock this morning. It's like I'm not asked to go nowhere for about 3 weeks now. So
Yeah.
I need to go to the gas station. I need nicotine. He took me though. I'm upset about the Jeep. It's tore up like to the point that it can't be driven. It's got to be completely.
Oh, man.
It's got to go in
Yeah.
for a heavy duty surgery. So I don't know if maybe I'll just start looking for something else for the time being. Like if I can find one for a few $100 or something, just a little beater to.
Just
That
get
does give
around.
me buy me some more time to get my license fixed though.
Yeah.
So it'll be okay.
It all work out.
While you're here next week, we have got somebody to go visit. I'm not going to say her name, but I mentioned it last night. She was asking if we had found our volunteers yet because her home needs repairs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, I whenever I guess whenever we get everybody together next week and we're in town, maybe we can just swing by and see the property like on our way back from court or something one day
Try
and
to figure out
see if
what.
we can figure out like an estimate of how much money we're going to need or what kind of materials, things like that. Because
Yeah.
I don't even know yet. I don't know what all she's going to require, but I'm excited though. I'm excited to help her.
I know.
And yeah, so even if it's just a bunch of ladies with hammers and drills, we'll figure it out. We can build it. We can do it. My mama built her little yellow house all by herself with her sister
Yeah.
for us to live in. Court dates are the 9th, 10th, and 12th.
12th.
Yeah, 9th, 10th, and the 12th.
And then project on the 11th. So we got that.
Yeah, okay.
It's a whole
She's not seen her message yet. Oh, the toy drive. I got my printer hooked up, but I do not have paper. I've got to get paper tomorrow, I guess. Maybe I might be able to get Dusto to stop by Walmart and bring me some home from work to print
okay.
out the forms for the toy drive. And then we need to get that out there. I can post that link. Give me just a second. Let me find that link.
Okay.
I'll put that in the chat for our toy drive.
I actually did an application. I did it all by myself. I was so proud of myself. That was my first thing I did.
I'm not signed in on this stupid phone. Ugh.
Oh, and the newsletter.
Yes, yes. I'm so glad you thought about that.
We're trying to hand it at a newsletter for our friends and um, anybody, I guess, interested in
Okay,
wanting.
hang on a minute. Let me get over here and try that. Yeah, we're gonna send it to our members. Um, I think if and the people who have donated on our Buy Me a Coffee website. And if anybody else wants to sign up for the monthly newsletter, and it contains lots of herbal wisdom, a little bit of earth magic here and there. We won't overpower it with that, but we want to stick mostly to just like remedies and
astrological dates like comets
Yeah,
and
like the
asteroids and
things we know, the not too woo woo stuff. Yeah. Um, I can't get this to open. Hang on. There we go. Amazon. I can't sign in because Leah is watching a movie on my account and it won't let me sign in.
it's
Or I
probably
just switched phones and I guess it had too many devices like signed on the thing. Okay, registries. Here it is. Now, how can I? Oops. Why does it say save? How do you open it? Here it is. Okay. Now, the link share. Oh my God, this is enough to drive you nuts. All right, copy link. I'm just going to go over onto YouTube and throw it in the chat since I can't sign into anything here.
face. It's not too bad today. I'm still a little droopy, but it's getting better. Had a headache today, so
Yeah. Oh no, I accidentally left the studio. Not what I want to do. Okay. Incoming. Almost there. I would need to get my
Ty is
mouse. I got to dig my mouse out. I think it's at your house. Is that other laptop there too?
no, I don't think. Is it or
I
is
don't
it?
know. I hope so because it wasn't in the Jeep.
It may be over there.
Okay, I got it posted in the chat. Hopefully it's clickable. I don't know. Oops.
It because it's there's yeah. Right.
I shared it from this chat room too, so hopefully that'll help. Okay. Is there any other links that you want to the newsletter? Oh, if you want to sign up for a to get the newsletter, you can either go, I guess, on the Buy Me a Coffee website and sign up from there, or just email us your email address. And here's Brandy's Buy Me a Coffee. You can sign up on either one of ours. I think there's a free option on there. Um,
There should be, I think.
okay, there's mine. And then we have the merch store. So that the Apple Dream store. And there's a QR code for that right up there above Brandy's head. So think about your Christmas shopping. We got some nice gift items and lots of herbal remedies or herbs, and going to have more like remedies and tinctures and stuff soon.
Yeah.
So, oh, there's Trish. Hang on.
I forgot a messenger.
Anytime. Trish was going to pop back on for a minute, but she just messaged and said she's not feeling well. So she's going to go ahead and call it a night.
Tell her I
So,
sorry. I forgot the message.
I messaged her before we got started. She was just sitting down to eat. And then she says she's gotten feeling a little queasy or lightheaded. So she's going to go ahead and lay down. But I guess we just have to do Leah's another time. Do it on next
Fine.
one. Yeah. But okay, I'm gonna call it a night then.
Week Friday conspiracy night.
Friday's conspiracy night got something special coming. I gotta finish putting that presentation together. End date for the toy drive, it's probably gonna be right up to the very last minute.
Yeah.
Because by the time I get these forms actually printed, delivered, I'll try to pick them up the following day
Yeah.
and then take it from there. So
Next year, it'll be
And
so
even
much.
if it's a little bit late, like it'll be okay. Like they'll still make it to the kids. Like we're gonna make sure that it happens. But I wish that I would have been able to get the printer up and running sooner though, and got them printed out last week. But we had ink troubles, technical difficulties as per usual.
Yep.
Hate to think we didn't. 500 things didn't go wrong.
Oh,
For
my
every
print.
one thing that goes right, then it wouldn't be our lives. So,
Mm-mm. Oh.
yeah,
It's
but
been a
that's
chore.
okay. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But we'll get there eventually.
Yep. We get up and
So,
still go.
yep. So, I guess let me look real quick at the Amazon site, and I will see like what this. As long as the shipping date doesn't like exceed December 30th, I would say. Would you say
Yeah.
that would be good?
Yeah.
Okay,
We should be able to
we can put
get.
that as a deadline on it, as long as the shipping date, expected shipping date, is that. And we're going to add more items too to the registry, like more specific things. I just threw a few things in there that was just on the
Yeah.
random toy items for boys and girls. But I think that you can just add to it, or you can just buy gift cards
Yeah.
too and donate it to the toy drive, and then we can use the gift card to,
Okay.
yeah, you purchase it the same way as you would an item for it. And I think I got it um set up right. If anybody
Okay.
has any problems, just let me know.
Go to the tech lady. It ain't me. I don't know. Ty's the one that handles all the tech stuff. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
horrible.
and I'm not
Right.
very good at it. So
I've
yes,
got my.
conspiracy night is Friday, but I'm sure that we will be touching on many between now and then because there's a lot to cover.
Yeah.
Each one of these topics that's going to be in the discussion Friday, they most of them seem related, but then there's a couple of them that don't actually seem to fit. And I want you all to see if you can see what the connections are whenever we present them without telling you like the deeper dive on those two things that don't fit in with the weather modification thing, because it is all connected, it's all tied together, it's all part of the same agenda. And yeah,
It's
I'm
crazy.
looking forward to hearing everybody's opinions and stuff on all this.
I know. I'm
But
excited.
her birthday is Friday, she said. Happy birthday, Friday.
Who's Friday?
The
Oh,
Defense Rest,
happy
Australia.
birthday.
Yeah, we're getting ready to hang it up right now. Dusty come out hunting me. He's wondering when I'm coming to bed. And so we're
Well,
headed that way. All right. I'll see
got.
y'all later.
All right.
Love you.
Good. Love y'all.